So Joe Manchin voted against the Women's Health Protection Act in the United States Senate. It was 51 to 49. I want to play these comments from the vice president, who at this point in time was the acting president of the Senate. Now, again, with the filibuster, Joe Manchin was not the deciding vote here. There was 11 votes short of passing. So it needs to be understood Joe Manchin could have voted in favor of this, right, and it still wouldn't have passed. But in his mind, the message that he sends by voting against it is more valuable to him than the message he sends by voting for it, even though it had no chance of passing regardless of what he votes, right? So anyway, this is Kamala Harris's response. And now, again, I want to set the scene. Nancy Pelosi, the leader of the House of Representatives, currently doing all that she can in her power to ensure that there are anti-abortion Democrats in Congress. She is spending all of her money and resources campaigning on a corrupt Democrat who is against abortion, Henry Cuellar. And so, again, the Democratic Party is in disarray when it comes to messaging. You've got the House, the leadership in the House saying abortion is bad. We need to do all we can to make sure that there are more anti-abortion legislators in the House of Representatives. Then you've got the president of the Senate and the vice president of the United States, in this case Kamala Harris, saying basically the exact opposite. So let's watch.
I just presided over the Women's Health Protective Act vote, and sadly the Senate failed to stand in defense of a woman's right to make decisions about her own body. And let's be clear, the majority of the American people
as of most recent polling I've seen is around 70%.
Believe in defending a woman's right, her choice to decide what happens to her own body. And this vote clearly suggests that the Senate is not where the majority of Americans are on this issue. It also makes clear.
You know, again, the Senate is an anti-democratic apparatus of slaveholders. That's what the Senate is. There is no any other definition of Senate, right? The only reason the Senate exists is to give slaveholders power. That's why they came up with it in the first place, because it's state trash. That's why the Democratic caucus in the Senate is voted for by 41 million more people than the Republican caucus, right? So it's 50-50. But the delta in votes between the Democrat caucus and the Republican caucus, the delta is 41 million. So 41 million more people voted for one party, and yet it's 50-50. Right, again, the Senate is an institution that was founded upon the ideology of slavery. That's the only reason it was written into the Constitution. That's the only reason it's still here. That's the only reason the filibuster even exists, by the way, is, again, another remnant of the ideology of slavery. They used the filibuster. They made it up, by the way. It's not in the Constitution, right? So they made it up. The 60-vote threshold is completely made up. Who made it up? Slave owners and racists, right? They made it up during Reconstruction, right? And it got most of its use during the Jim Crow era to counter against civil rights legislation, right? So again, the Senate is an institution founded on the ideology of slavery. That is it. Full stop. It needs to be abolished. But anyway, let's continue.
That a priority for all who care about this issue, a priority should be to elect pro-choice leaders at the local.
Now again, as Kamala Harris is saying this, and she's not going to say anything about Pelosi, Pelosi is literally spending hundreds of thousands of dollars campaigning for anti-abortion candidates. I need everyone to really understand this. The Democratic Party is a clusterfuck right now.
At the local, the state, and the federal level. Because what we are seeing around this country are extremist Republican leaders who are seeking to criminalize and punish women for making decisions about their own body.
Now, one thing I want to say is that, in my opinion, and this is a little off subject, not really, but a little bit, the Republican crusade against abortion rights in this country is undeniably and inextricably linked to the Republican crusade against transgender rights going on in this country and gay rights going on in this country, right? The same people who are endorsing stripping healthcare access from people wishing to seek abortion healthcare are the same people wanting to strip access to healthcare for transgender people, for gay people, and so on and so forth. It's the same people and for the same reasons. The reasons are, right, Republicans are fascists. The ideology that they hold, right, is founded on genocide, right? But you can't kill 50% of the population. So what you do is you make all women, right? And in their world, women only, of course, because biology does not exist. Intersex people are going to be genocided and removed from society. Trans people are going to be genocided and removed from society. That's what their goal is, right? So they want to create half the population to be subservient second-class citizens. Amy Coney Barrett, Supreme Court Justice, uses the term to increase the, quote, domestic infant supply, right? And then they also want to expunge and destroy all queer people from this planet. That's their goal. And what they're doing this is with healthcare. That's why we need a fucking constitutional right to healthcare. That's what we need. That's what would fix all of these problems. We need Medicare for all and a constitutional right to healthcare, right? But you also see that a lot of these Roe v. Wade activists, and I want to say that these two movements are inextricably linked. This is an intersectional campaign, right? Trans people are in the same position as anyone who is having their right to an abortion being stripped away from them. Ultimately, what it is Republicans, because one party is doing this, Republicans destroying people's access to healthcare. That's what the root of this issue is, right? So I need to stop seeing all these fucking turf, loser, garbage fucking morons that are going like, this is a women's issue. This has nothing to do with trans people, right? These motherfuckers that are seeing anytime someone says like, birthing person or something, right? People have this fucking conniption fit. You're erasing women. Shut the fuck up, motherfucker, right? This is, again, an intersectional issue. Republicans are wielding healthcare as a weapon against minority populations that they wish to control. They want to commit a genocide against trans and gay people, and they want to make women slaves. That is their goal. That is their Christian, nationalist, fundamentalist, evangelical ideology. That's what they want. They want to expunge all gay people and trans people from existence, just like the Nazis did with their book burnings, and they want to make women second-class citizens. Full stop. And the way that they're able to do this is by weaponizing access to healthcare. So again, we need this. We need to stop with this whole this is. I don't care about abortion. Oh, the trimesters, and I don't fucking give a shit, motherfucker. This isn't about the trimesters. This isn't about fetal viability. This is about motherfuckers weaponizing someone's access to healthcare. Full stop. We need to stop with it's a protection. The Supreme Court needs more cops because protesters. Stop with the sidetracking, okay? This is ultimately about people's access to healthcare, right? And again, the Democratic Party has been doing everything in its power to restrict people's access to healthcare, right? At every step of the way, when they could have actual serious healthcare reform, they choose not to, right? And this is what happens, right? This is the result of having a capitalist health insurance company, executive fucking controlled, owner controlled, slave style system and economy when it comes to healthcare in this country. So, anyway, and also the Democratic Party's in disarray. You got the House leadership voting and supporting for anti-abortion candidates. You've got the Vice President of the United States saying the exact opposite. Are they going to talk to each other in any capacity? Probably not. They're just going to give us mixed messaging the whole step of the way because the Democratic Party is professionally built to fail. That's their entire purpose, right? So, I don't know. Anyway.